Donald Trump got a rude awakening as the No Kings protests were yet again a massive success. Just look at the video right here of the massive protests in the various cities. There were protests across all 50 states, in small towns, in big towns, in small cities, in big cities. People showed up, and Donald Trump and his regime were hoping that if they just ignored it and pretend like it wasn't happening, that the No Kings protest would not be once again massive in size, scale, scope, and enthusiasm. Remember the last No Kings where the Trump regime was threatening people who showed up, and they believed that that's what encouraged people to show up. No, what's encouraging people to show up, Donald, is that you are a fascist, that your regime is destroying the United States of America and the world, and people were out there to say no kings. People were out there to say yes to democracy and to fight for basic human dignity, equal rights, to show love and joy and empathy, and to show that you cannot break our will, though you will try every single day. We, the people, stand united and will never be divided. So as the day progressed, also, Donald Trump and his MAGA sycophants, they tried a different approach. They tried to then act like the No Kings protest was a failure and that people weren't showing up. So you had people like Gunther Eagleman, a MAGA Republican influencer, who basically just says whatever the hell Donald Trump wants him to say. He posted, "Just announced, it's being reported that the No Kings protests have a severely low turnout." Flop. Well, now that the numbers are in, there were over 8 million people who showed up to protest. That's on the low end. I've seen some estimates say it was closer to 10 million, but a lot of the organizers saying on the lowest low end, over 8 million people across the country showed up. A huge mass mobilization indeed. Just take a look at some of the videos over here from some of the various other cities as well. That first image I showed you had videos of Minneapolis, Philadelphia, DC, Chicago, New York City, San Diego, and Boston. Let's zoom in just on the size of Boston here. You can see the size of the Dallas protest here. Take a look at New York City. We can show you people in downtown St. Paul marching to the Minnesota State Capitol. And you know, the MeidasTouch network had our camera crews all throughout the country. We were capturing everything that was going down. Our No Kings coverage got over 1 million views from our live coverage, and that's still increasing. Can I show you some of my favorite signs out there? Like this sign right here from Nebraska, "Quiet, Piggy," or this sign right here from Illinois, "Believe your eyes, not the lies." How about this sign right here? "The Shady Bunch." How about this sign? "See you later, alligator, at your trial, pedophile." And it's like alligator talking. How about this sign right here? "The enemy within, depraved and racist. Stupid, lying hustler." It's very fascinating signs right there. How about this one with Donald Trump's face with the words over it? "Can't look at this effing face anymore. Real Americans don't lick boots. MAGA morons are governing America." How about this sign right here from Texas? "The only thing safe in America right now is the Epstein files." I have no comment on this one from Portland, Maine, but it appears to be a photo of Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump, and it says, "On my knees or just bend over." No comment from me on that. I'm just showing you the signs, folks, that are up all around. Oh, by the way, when I went to look back at that Gunther Eagleman's prior post as well, there were posts like this one from the June 14th, 2025 No Kings. "LOL, the No Kings protests have turned out to be a complete flop." Or from the October 18th, 2025 one. "LOL, the No Kings protests have turned out to be a complete flop again." Or how about this one from July 4th, 2025? "Like the No Kings protests, Pride Month was a flop." At least he's consistent, our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, writes. So then, oh, by the way, I like this sign as well. "Send Barron, do your part." As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, says, it's that time again. Send us all of your favorite photos. I also want to point out that while the No Kings protest was going on, you have all of these MAGA sycophants and influencers like fighting with each other. You had Mark Levin, basically Donald Trump's chief advisor right now in the catastrophic war in Iran. Megyn Kelly, the podcaster, keeps on calling Mark Levin a micro penis. And then Mark Levin responded to her by implying something about like oral sex, or that she has a filthy mouth and we know where that mouth's been. I mean, he says just the most horrific misogynistic things that he's saying. And then Megyn Kelly responds, "Poor micro," referring to Mark Levin as a micro penis. "Poor micro, trying to slut shame me, a happily married woman for nearly 2 decades. Teeny tiny men with micro penises or micro manhoods often resort to misogynistic attacks. It's okay, micro penis. I'm sure your disability makes it really tough to look at more successful women." To which Mark Levin responds, "You've had a micro penis on your brain and from your mouth for weeks. You're shaming yourself, except you have no shame. I hate reaching into the gutter to deal with your foul crap, and I've tried to avoid it, but that's where you live and that's how you conduct yourself. Now you play the victim. You're a vile, mentally unhinged creep." Just so we all see how abnormal this behavior is. This is the Trump MAGA world right here, okay? While we, the people, are out there for No Kings protest because we're trying to fight for free healthcare, universal healthcare, affordability generally. People can't afford things at the grocery store. People can't afford their rent, right? People are psychologically tortured, living paycheck to paycheck right now. We're trying to help people afford homes, afford their rent, get free healthcare that they deserve. I believe it's a universal right. Free education, at least affordable education, but I believe in free education. Support unions. Protest against these unlawful wars, this unlawful war in Iran, protest for basic human rights and human dignity across the world. Protests for releasing the Epstein files and this Trump regime covering up a child sex trafficking. Protests to stop ICE and Border Patrol, Gestapo murdering, killing, torturing, terrorizing people on the street. We're out there talking about empathy and helping marginalized communities and just being together and spreading love and joy. They're out there you're a micro penis and your mouth is this and blah, 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 and this is that. It's oh my God. It's what are we even dealing with here? As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, writes, I think this is day 17 of the Megyn Kelly-Mark Levin feud. Today started off with Levin spreading sexual rumors about Kelly, and it's pretty much gone downhill from there. And then what we saw happen throughout the day, state regime media, which calls itself Fox, started getting very jealous of how big the No Kings protests were. And we know that Trump was getting very jealous of it. So this is what they started programming on state regime media, which calls itself Fox. You have Riley Gaines, who they keep on bringing on, and she has a show or something apparently now. And Riley Gaines and Lara Trump are I'm so thankful that Kamala wasn't the president. Could you imagine where we would be right now if Kamala was in office? Okay, what are you talking about? We're basically in World War III right now. And I'm not being hyperbolic. The entire world is at a war. America is an economic catastrophe right now. This war seemingly escalating. You're covering up child sex trafficking. Trump's covering up child sex trafficking. People can't afford anything. There's wars everywhere. Everything is horrible right now. And you're doing this Kamala thing. You're saying, well, how bad would it be if Kamala? It would probably be pretty great right now if Kamala. It would probably be 1,000,000 times better than it is right now. And y'all would be whining if she wore a jacket that you didn't like. Oh my God, she wore a green jacket. A green jacket? Is that a communist jacket? Oh, you would create all these stupid controversies. And now that Trump's in this ridiculous unlawful war, you're all oh, just give it some time. It'll all work out in the long run. Here, play this clip of these idiots. Let's play it.
With the president and his administration, we've seen it at University of Pennsylvania. We just saw an investigation launched into the state of Maine for allowing men into women's prisons. They have pushed forward with full steam ahead, and I seriously praise God every single day that President Trump won back in November of 2024, because I cannot imagine an alternative world with Kamala Harris as president.
Oh, yeah, don't scare us tonight, Riley. That's enough. That's enough crazy talk for the evening.
And then you could tell that Donald Trump was getting, again, jealous of the size of the No Kings protest throughout the day. So then he was can everybody just watch Mark Levin and watch his brilliant interview of Mark Thiessen, and watch Mark Levin tonight. It's at 8 p.m. So Donald Trump tells everybody, watch Mark Levin. And here's what Mark Levin says. Basically like, we're going to war. We're doing a ground invasion. So as Donald Trump got jealous of the size of No Kings, here's what he did. Play this clip.
The president has to, people are bringing information to him, and he has to worry about all these things. Now, one other thing. Troops on the ground. He said no troops on the ground. I don't remember that in any campaign speech either. But why would we need troops on the ground? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and we wouldn't need 300,000 of them. It's this uranium, too. We've got to get the uranium. If it cannot be destroyed, if it cannot be altered, we got to get it. For the reason I just said. You can make dirty bombs, and over time you can still make sophisticated missiles.
And just so you all can see, like even this year's CPAC convention in Texas, in Texas, even the attendees there were like, yeah, we don't like Donald Trump anymore. Here, let's play this clip.
I think they would get destroyed in the midterms. I get the vibe. A lot of people I knew who just voted for Trump because they thought it was cool in like high school, or just now just being like, I can't stand the guy.
Let me show you this right here. This individual who was a veteran at a No Kings protest in Houston. I want you to take a look at what he had to say. He gave such a brilliant response here. Let's play this clip.
That's right.
Tell me why it's so important for you to take part in these demonstrations.
Well, as an American, we have the right to free speech, the freedom to assemble. And when times are like they are now, I feel like it's my duty. I'm a military veteran. I've served this country as my father had and his father. And we are not here because we like kings. We are here because the people that are in power right now are acting like kings and trying to take away our rights. And I feel like one of the things I can do is to protest peacefully. And there's so many things that have happened. The Abrego Garcia incident, where they are shipping people away without the opportunity, habeas corpus, without the ability to have a hearing. And just because of the color of their skin, they are assuming that they're not here legally. And then the killings of peaceful protesters in Minnesota is just ridiculous that anybody could sit around and not respond to that. And so I'm here to show my support for everybody that believes in our freedoms that we've fought for so many years. And we've been here as an American since 1776, and we don't have kings, and we don't want any more kings.
Then what they've been talking about on right-wing podcasts. Listen to what Sean Ryan had to say here. Play this clip.
I wonder how many of the pedophiles that were in the Epstein files, I wonder how many of those pedophiles are having active FBI investigations on them. Probably fucking zero. Fucking zero.
And you can tell that, by the way, Megyn Kelly's really afraid. Here's what she had to say.
I can't remember the specific number in Florida, but I saw the list, and there were many that had gone 19 Republican that have now swung blue. This is a terrible harbinger for things to come in these midterms. There are serious political pundits now predicting the Republicans genuinely may lose the Senate in addition to the House. Yeah. And what does that do in terms of the Republican positioning on the Senate in 28 when they have more seats that are, we weren't supposed to lose the Senate, Republicans, in this midterm election. That was not supposed to happen at all. But now they're seriously talking about it like it might. But then the next election in 28, where there's a presidential race on the line as well, the Republicans are more exposed. So, I mean, now we're en route to a 60 seat Democrat majority. Do you know what that is? That's a fucking nightmare, because the Democrats could actually win the White House too with these approval numbers. President Trump's approval numbers are in the basement. They're the lowest that they have been. And it is the economy, first and foremost, that's dragging him down. And now the Iran war. And by the way, he's lost Hispanics too. He's the entire coalition that put him over the top is falling apart. as you point out, that Joe Rogan's come out against the war. Dave Smith is hardcore against Trump right now and has been for a while, a comic who's brilliant. Theo Vaughn came out against it. He lost comedian Andrew Schultz, on whose podcast he made a lot of friends, a while ago. Sean Ryan has same against it now very strongly. This is a coalition that the young men of America very much listen to, and young people are completely against this war.
And then finally, let's listen to what this right-wing podcast host Sean Ryan had to say about Donald Trump promoting glyphosate and all of these like chemicals that cause cancer. Here, play this clip.
Did you see the glyphosate stuff?
I did.
The Make America Healthy Again movement.
Right.
Immunity. Right. Immunity.
Yep.
Because of what? A national security issue? Do you know how many people fucking died of cancer last year? 618,000. That's not a national security concern? You know where the highest concentration of glyphosate is? Mm-mm. It's in Iowa. Do you know where the highest concentration of cancer is?
Iowa.
It's in Iowa.
Yeah.
And he just gave them immunity.
Yeah.
We're calling the fentanyl crisis a national security concern. That's 100,000 people. Cancer is 618,000 fucking people in 1 year.
Yeah.
And he just gave them immunity.
Yeah. But yeah, I think your frustration, your anger is felt by a lot of people who voted, who campaigned.
The Epstein files?
Really believed the Epstein files,
The fuck is that?
Right.
Are you serious right now? We're just going to let people that are raping and killing and exploiting kids sexually just run free. But we're going to stick the FBI on Joe Kent.
It's insanity.
So there you have it, folks. Donald Trump not happy about the size and scale of the Snow Kings protest. Great work, everybody who showed up. Honor for the MeidasTouch Network to cover it all as well. We appreciate you watching. Have a great one, everybody. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.